Actors and actresses, what is filming a sex scene like? This is one of those questions that is interesting, but unlikely that anyone would answer from experience, since very few Redditors are actors. Fewer are actors in film. Even fewer were in a sex scene. Even fewer browse Reddit, and even fewer browse this subreddit at this specific time. So you're saying that there's a chance? I was in a theater show where I had to sit next to a girl and feel her boob. The second I read it in the script, I started feeling anxious about it. When I was talking to the actress about the scene, she seemed totally cool with everything, so for the whole 2-week run of the show, she got her boob groped every day and twice on Wednesdays and Sundays. Lucky. Your username haunts me. First time. My first time kissing on stage. On rehearsal. I missed the colleague's face. Every day I pray to forget that moment. How? The miracle of virginity. I'm an actor. Recently starting work. Haven't done a sex scene though. From what I've heard, it's OFC awkward, but both actors focus on being professional to get the scene done. Depending on who you're acting with, it can be a funny experience. Especially if your co-star is also a friend. It's easier, I guess. In the end, it's up to the director to make the actors comfortable. I heard a story that one director made all the crew on set take their clothes off to make the actors feel comfortable. Acting is weird. Paul Verhoeven did that for the co-ed shower scene in Starship Troopers. Just a couple of overpaid, beautiful people dry humping while Gail from Craft Services is watching from behind the director. I'd imagine it's like the scene from Love Actually. Those two are hilarious in the sex scenes. Always cracks me up how nervous he is asking her out when she's on her knees in front of "Hi Monsieur." Theater actor here. All I know is that there is a special intimacy training you have to take. If you get paired up with a person that may or may not like, you cannot express a non-professional gesture, like saying, yes. Also, you have to protect yourself from directors. Not saying directors are malice, but they tend to overstep what is comfortable for an actor. Oh, and you need 24 or 48 notice prior to performing an intimate act. A better question is, why do these stupid scenes still exist in movies? Does anyone enjoy them? They're always weird and awkward to watch, as well as the thought of how weird and awkward they must be to film. Monsieur, they seem so pointless or gratuitous usually. Occasionally, or rather rarely, do they even add to the story. Have you ever heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Me neither, because sex sells. Hello there. Completely agree. Unless a sex scene is moving the story forward, then WTF is the point? Sex sells. That's my issue with modern TV shows. I feel like every new show I watch has a sex scene in the first episode. Like it's some token thing that every show needs now. Greater than a better question is, why do these stupid scenes still exist in movies? Does anyone enjoy them? Harvey Weinstein. And Harvey Weinstein. Boy, am I glad Harvey wasn't a locksmith. I would assume awkward as fuck. Cameras on you, a group of people watching you. Your performance is being openly judged. They probably are dating people, so have to deal with jealousy. You could be not attracted to them at all and have to kiss, touch, and probably straddle them would be fairly cringe-inducing. Knowing millions of people will see it, including your family, friends. One of the cameramen is masturbating. I'm an amateur actor, but legit enough to have an IMDb page I didn't set up myself. Have done sex scenes. They are incredibly awkward and a tiny bit sexy. One time, the director was just off camera, reading out instructions line by line, which felt incredibly strange. Like having a parent with you in the bedroom, a parent who had written a script for you and your girlfriend to follow, but didn't trust the two of you could get it done without live instructions. Another time, the dude the actress was dating placed himself in my eye line, so that I locked eyes with him every time I kissed her. Had to tell him to go stand somewhere else. Other than that, it's like every other scene. Hopefully, you trust your director and can forget about the cameras for a moment. Was the dude the actress was dating allowed on set? He may have been working on set too. Most major films today use an intimacy coordinator to help direct these scenes. They discuss boundaries with the actors and plan out the action beforehand so everyone is comfortable and knows what to expect. Amateur actor have done exactly one of these. It was very awkward and quite cold, but it was a very small production, so I wasn't pressured into anything I wasn't comfortable with. I am sure they both get turned on, or one does, and then it's awkward. It's been years and years, but I remember an actress being interviewed about this topic and she said the male actor came to her dressing room before they shot the scene and he just said to her, "Sorry if I do and I am sorry if I don't." Probably the best way to sum it up? This would be me. I may insult you by my lack of arousal, or I may pitch a tent for the 4 hours of filming. Let's be adults though and not talk about me dry humping regardless of whether we're filming. The actor in question was Roger Moore. So, he didn't then. Roger Moore reportedly told actresses, "I want to apologize if I get an erection. Or if I don't." Waiting for an actress to respond. Theater actor here. So a bit of a different perspective. The show that I was rehearsing for before the pandemic featured intimate moments, albeit not full-on sex scenes. And we had an intimacy coordinator. On one hand, they act like a fight choreographer, mapping out the moves so that way they are the same every time. No one drops any surprises on their partner. On the other, they act as sort reps or liaisons for the actors. They will discuss with the director what their vision is for the scene and try to replicate that, while maintaining their actors' boundaries. So before any physical work starts, they lead conversations between partners about what their no-go's are and what is okay. They will also help establish a tap-in between partners, which is a little shared gesture, like a high-five or handshake, between actors that indicates that what they are about to be doing is work and separate from them as people. Actor here. It's very not sexy. Instead it's highly choreographed and rehearsed. I'm going to touch you here. You'll move there. We kiss here, with hopefully an intimacy coordinator. Non-union films will not always have one, so it's important to learn how to advocate for yourself to the director and your acting partner if anything feels uncomfortable. The goal is to have it completely down pat with your partner so that there is no improvisation. Usually it begins with both actors telling the other their no-fly zones. I always say, "Please don't touch my groin," or "touch between my butt cheeks." It's awkward, but can be sort of a funny icebreaker. Once no-fly zones are established, the intimacy coordinator works with the actor's director to establish what the choreo will be. Then the shooting can take hours, even for a 2-minute scene, if they just want to master a close-up, and the reverse, which is standard. Each shot can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours before they begin rolling, and then you have to do multiple takes. A minimum would be 3 takes for each shot, but almost always it's closer to 7 to 15 depending on the director and DP. One of the interesting things about film acting too is perspective and what looks good on camera. Next time you're watching a scene in a car, take a second to look at how the characters are positioned, how their seats are positioned. It's usually not in any way how a human being would ever sit, but it reads as totally normal on camera. This is the same for intimacy scenes. You might be in a super awkward position, not sexy at all, but it reads on camera as super sexy. Last but not least, try getting in the mood when 1. Wearing a dance belt, and 2. There's anywhere from 15 to 50 people watching. As a fellow actor, this is the comment that should be upvoted to the top. Though I will say I find a dance belt somewhat freeing after about 30 to 45 minutes once I forget about constantly having something wedged up my butt. Probably helped that I had a girlfriend who liked wearing thongs because they made her feel snug. Helped me try to reframe a bit. But yes, they don't make you feel sexy. Dance belt. Yeah, can someone enlighten us as to what a dance belt is? It's a banana hammock basically, to keep the beans from dancing against you. It's kind of like exposing your real-life partner to cuckold humiliation in public. So, how do I get my wife into acting? I mean, my friend wants to get his wife into acting. Now the term acting as a job has become quite broad. From what I understand, there's usually an intimacy choreographer to make sure all goes well. Kinda like a fight choreographer, but ideally no one gets punched or thrown from a train. I was reading this and suddenly remembered I had done this for a short film in college. It was literally the least erotic thing ever. There were at least 5 other people in the room. Lights, sound, camera, director, the girls' roommates, etc. And you are just trying to remember what you are supposed to do while acting naturally. Super awkward. This wasn't a sex scene as much as an implied sex scene. Former actor and now director here. It's only as awkward as the people involved are. Typically everyone is professional, mature, and understands that this is the behavior their character would engage in. So they want to portray it as best as they can. Most approach it very professionally. As a director, I get rid of all non-essential people on set. But make sure that there are enough around that it doesn't feel creepily empty. Anybody who I feel would make it weird isn't allowed. Communication is key. I always let the actors set their own boundaries. I describe my ideal scenario, then let the actors agree to it or offer a compromise. I let them know that at any point they can change their mind. There are tons of little skin-colored pasties, adhesive panty strips, and cock socks for the actors to wear. Sometimes people get turned on. It's only natural. And in that case we takes breaks to chill out and then resume later. TLDR. It's only awkward if the people involved are. Please tell me cocksock is the industry standard term, monsieur. As an extra who had to wear one in a very awkward scene with 10 other nearly naked extras. It is officially called a cocksock on set. Watching sex scenes is awkward. I bet acting in one is even more so. Not an actor, but it probably isn't as sexy as you think. Actor here. Stage and film, monsieur. There's a certain awkwardness to get over with your partner at first. But an intimacy coach can help create a process that is safe and comfortable for all involved. The actual scenes themselves depend on what content is involved. I've done scenes within a shirt on and undersheets where it was actually a bit of a challenge. Because you have to make it look like you're having sex, so there's a lot more accentuating of movement to make it look realistic. I've not needed to do the super intense fully naked sex scenes. But camera angles help regardless of how clothed you are. Ultimately, I'm a trained professional and it's just another scene, so I figure out what needs to happen and do it while seeming authentic. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.